U.S. President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin will head to Friday's summit in the U.S. state of Alaska with conflicting priorities as they prepare to talk about ending Russia's war in Ukraine. Putin has consistently expressed his ambition to gain Ukrainian territory, whereas Trump has made no secret of his intention to act as a global peacemaker. However, both men may see other prospects, such as Putin's diplomatic rehabilitation on the world stage. Second-guessing Trump's intentions is more difficult, as he has recently made vacillating statements regarding his Russian counterpart. Here's a more comprehensive look at what the two leaders may seek from the meeting. The first thing Putin wants from this conference is something he has already received, and that is recognition. The world's most powerful country, America, acknowledges that Western efforts to isolate the Kremlin leader have failed. The fact that this high-level meeting is taking place, as well as the joint press conference arranged by the Kremlin, demonstrates this. The Kremlin might say that Russia has regained its place at the top of world politics, so much for being isolated, the tabloid Moskovsky Komsomolets wrote earlier this week. Putin has not only secured a U.S.-Russia summit, but also the ideal site for it. Alaska has plenty to offer the Kremlin. First, security at its closest point. Mainland Alaska is only 90 kilometers 55 miles from Russia's Chukotka. Vladimir Putin can travel there without flying over hostile countries. Second, it is a very long way between Ukraine and Europe. That is consistent with the Kremlin's intention to marginalize Kyiv and EU leaders and negotiate directly with America. There is also some historical symbolism. Moscow is using the fact that Tsarist Russia sold Alaska to America in the 19th century to justify its use of force to shift borders in the 21st century. Alaska is a clear example that state borders can change and large territories can switch ownership, stated Moskovsky Komsomolets. But Putin seeks more than just worldwide recognition and symbolism. He seeks victory. He has insisted that Russia preserve all of the land it has captured and occupied in 4 Ukrainian areas: Donetsk, Luhansk, Zaporizhzhia, and Kherson, and that Kyiv withdraw from the sections of those regions that remain under Ukrainian control. For Ukraine, this is unacceptable. Ukrainians will not give their land to the occupier, declares the country's President Volodymyr Zelensky. The Kremlin understands this, however, if it wins Trump's support for its territorial claims. The calculation may be that rejection by Ukraine will result in Trump withdrawing all support for Kyiv. Meanwhile, Russia and the United States will continue to strengthen relations and expand economic cooperation. However, there is another scenario. Russia's economy is under pressure. The fiscal deficit is growing, but oil and gas export revenues are declining. If economic concerns force Putin to terminate the war, the Kremlin may compromise. Currently, Russian officials maintain that they have the upper hand in the conflict. During his 2024 presidential campaign, Trump promised to stop the Ukraine war quickly. That commitment has lingered over the American president's efforts to end the conflict, as he has alternated between frustration with Ukrainians and Russians. Since returning to the White House in January, he chastised Zelensky during a dramatic White House meeting in February, and later temporarily froze military aid and intelligence sharing with the war-torn country. In recent months, he has become more critical of Putin's intransigence and willingness to attack civilian targets, imposing a series of deadlines for further penalties on Russia and other countries that do business with them. The most recent deadline was last Friday, and as with previous ones, Trump eventually backed down. Now he's receiving the Russian president on American territory and discussing land swapping, which Ukraine believes could involve land concessions in exchange for peace. So, any discussion about what Trump intends during his Friday talks with Putin is clouded by the president's erratic remarks and behavior. This week, Trump has made a concentrated attempt to dampen expectations for the summit, maybe as a tacit admission of the minimal chances of a breakthrough with only one party in the conflict present. On Monday, he stated that the summit will be a feel-out meeting. He stated that he would know if he could reach an agreement with the Russian leader probably within the first 2 minutes. I may leave and say good luck, and that'll be the end. He joked, I may say this is not going to be settled. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt reiterated this message on Tuesday, referring to the summit as a listening session. Expect the unexpected when dealing with Trump, and Zelensky and European leaders spoke with him on Wednesday to ensure that he does not reach an agreement with Putin that Ukraine will not or cannot accept. One thing has been evident for nearly a year. Trump would love the opportunity to be the man who ends the war. In his inaugural address, He stated that he wished to leave a legacy as a peacemaker. It is no secret that he wishes for the international acknowledgement of a Nobel Peace Prize. Trump is not someone who gets mired down in specifics. But if there is an opportunity to say that he has made progress toward peace at the meetings in Anchorage, he will seize it. Putin, a shrewd negotiator, may look for a way to allow Trump to do so on Russia's conditions, of course.